Hello everyone, this is Dimitri with Ukidz LLC, UGears US. Today it's time to assemble another cool model. It is a rescue hovercraft, so another boat. So you can see how many different categories UGears can get into. This one is 383 pieces. Let's see, takes about 6 hours. So nice, pretty cool looking model, one of the newer ones, once again, as you can see by the packaging. Let's start the assembly. So first thing first is the opening, and I'm gonna go ahead and use one of my tools here, kind of give it a little start and peel off this self-tearing box. Pull the tab open, get another one out, pull the model out, which is upside down for some reason this time. It's totally fine. I'm gonna put the box to the side as we don't need it right now. And let's see, we got 5 little boards, or regular size boards I should say, not little ones. We have assembly instructions as always. We got a little envelope with some parts. All right, let's see what we have in here. Tear it up. All right, let's see, we do have a little wax stick that actually looks like started melting a little bit, but it's totally fine because it's inside the envelope, so it did not damage the model, or it's still somewhat intact. If you don't have that, or it didn't come with it, regular tea light candle, my recommendation. They are available in all kinds of different stores, easy to get, very inexpensive, very nice to use as the lubricant. Alrighty, so nothing else in the envelope. I'm gonna put it aside just in case if something got stuck in there. We have a piece of sandpaper in here. We do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rubber bands. We're gonna put those inside the box to make sure I don't lose it. We have a large spring, and that's it. So those are our parts, and we're gonna go ahead and start with the assembly instructions. All right, so the first page or second sheet, as always, assembly instructions. Remove models from the boards. Be careful, you can wax them, assemble them without glue. You don't need any of that. I mean, occasionally we do use, or I do use glue if the part breaks or something. It's easy to fix. It's not a mechanical component. It's just like some decorative piece. Just put a little glue on that and move on. So, and once again, make sure the parts are waxed. Do not burn the candle wax. Do not try to liquefy it. So just use it as is, as a solid piece. I have my, from a previous assembly, I have a little piece left, so I'm gonna use that up first. And then use the other wax later. Moving on to the page number 3. We have symbols that you're gonna see throughout the assembly. The exclamation mark, you need to pay attention just to make sure that you assemble it correctly. A little piece of sandpaper makes total sense to sand the part. Then there is a little gear with a tea light candle wax and a toothpick that's left over from the previous older versions of UGears models. So that means you need to wax that part, and then when you see 2 gears with the little arrows, that means it is a mechanical connection, so you need to make sure it's working in operational before continuing the assembly. There's going to be some burrs on the parts. You can remove it with a helping tool or sandpaper or any other tool or knife. When you see a little plus symbol on the boards, just like this one right here, that means these are spare components, extra parts, in case if you break the original or delaminates or whatever the reason is, or your dog chewed it or cat destroyed it. There's some spare parts, and here's the list of all the spare parts you're gonna see on the boards. Those are usually smaller pieces that break much easier, fragile, so instead of contacting us or the manufacturer for the replacement, you can see the board, check the boards first. If you have spares, you can use them. And then obviously the helping tool, it is on board number 5, all the way on the left hand side at the center. So this is the part that I'm gonna pull out first, because we're gonna be using it throughout the assembly. as the helping tool. Moving on to the page number 4. And then it shows you how that helping tool can be applied in different scenarios to push the parts out, to connect them together, and so on. So we're on page 4. We're going to go ahead and start with our assembly. Step number 1, we need parts number 1, 2, 3, and 4 parts number 4. They are all going to be on board number 1, part number 1, and they're all, looks like, top corner. So we do need 2 part number 1s. Put them together. They're on top left corner here. We're gonna pull them out. We're gonna need part number 2 right above it. And then part number 3 is gonna be to the right of the center line at the top right corner. And then parts number 4 are on the top left, right above part number 2. So I'm just gonna use the tool to kind of push them out from front towards the back. Part number 2 needs to be waxed all around. So we're gonna go ahead and wax it. And then part number 1, once again, looks like you need 2 of them, although it only shows 1. We're gonna need to put it through part number 2 all the way in up until it clicks. Here we go, all the way. Make sure it's nice and flush with the step here. The side is not completely. All right, and then we need, I'm gonna put part number 4, so this one should be upside down with its little design down towards the bottom. I'm gonna put part number 4 first into this sub-assembly. And I'm gonna use the helping tool, so I'm kind of pre-adjusting them. And I'm gonna put a helping tool, apply the helping tool to get them inside completely. Make sure they're sitting nice and flush with the surface. And you can see like a little, or hear a little clicking sound. That means it's all the way in as far as it can go. And then this is gonna go over part number 2. So part number 2 goes right in there. And now we need the spring. So I'm gonna take the spring, and we need to make sure that this little end is facing counterclockwise direction. And then this little flat portion is gonna go into part number 1, into that little opening, little split that is there. And so now the picture below, there's exclamation point. That means you need to pay attention. So the first here, the flat portion is gonna go up. We're gonna have 1 loop, 100%. Or 360 degrees, right? So it's 1. Then we're gonna go 2 within these 4 parts. Then we're gonna go 2.5, and then it exits out, and it's gonna be on the outside of these little tabs number 4. So we need to make sure that we, let's see. So we have the first 1, 2, then 2.5, and then those should be out, or let's see the way it is. So it's I mean, it doesn't really matter how many loops. What matters is that where the spring exits the inner section. So it needs to exit right outside of this bottom left part number 4. So we're gonna check all the loops, make sure our next loop exits, and the way I installed it, it's right exiting right in between here and here. So here it's inside, and then it comes out, and now it's outside. And just need to make sure that this is the last loop. So I have part of the spring is still on the inside, so I need to make sure that everything is outside of that. So let's see, follow the spring and just make sure it exits right in between here and here, and then everything is outside. So I had to move one little loop outside of these 2 little pieces. just to make sure that it is installed correctly. Now, moving on to page number 5, we need part number 5, which is on board number 1, right in the middle on the left-hand side here. And we need part number 6. Part number 6 would be on the bottom left. That's a larger piece. And then part number 5, we need to wax all around there. All right, I'm not sure if the little dot, which is on part number 5, should match or not. So this one, we need to insert it all the way in, as far as it can go. It's gonna hold the spring together, and then part number 6, just put over that little part. And then we need to make sure that these little tabs, once again, the spring exits in between the 2 pegs that are furthest apart, and like it's facing on the bottom, and then you put your part number 6 over it and snap those pegs into that part. To make sure that everything is lined up and everything is snapped together, and that's part number 6 is within the little circle opening. I'm just adjusting little pegs to make sure they're lined up. Snapping it all together, and now we have a nice little part. We wind it counterclockwise. And as you can see, our step number 4, I'm holding it on inside, on the bottom there. So it's going to be tough at some point of time. So this little lip will need to hook on. If you look from the top, it's going to need to hook right on this little peg on number 4. So once we wind it up, this guy will move around, and then eventually when all this the whole spring are inside these little 4 pegs, that's when this little guy will hook onto this peg, because that's where we exited. We exited between here and here. So once you wind it up, it's going to hook on here. So this one's going to be a little bit tough, just a little fair warning, because as you wind up this spring, there's a lot of tension to it, and it needs to rotate. And it's pulling the string inside. It got stuck here a little bit onto my finger. Wasn't able to hold it. Counterclockwise if you're looking from the top, clockwise if you're looking from the bottom of the key. So I'm holding the key with my finger as I'm winding it up. There you go, and looks like one more. Yep, it locked itself in onto part number 4. So if you let it go, it's not gonna come out anymore. So it's that little, as I was winding it, the spring by itself just kicked in there. I'm just gonna apply a little bit pressure to make sure it sits nice and tight on there. So as you can see, the whole spring is inside the little 4 parts of number 4. All right, so we're done with that. Now next step is number 5. We need parts number 7, 2 of them. They're on the left hand side, right or above the middle here, on the left of the center line, and these gonna go on the outside of these 2, part number 6, right on the 2 edges. And that's our A1. So we're gonna put it aside right now. Step number 1 on the bottom of page number 5 in the middle, a little bit to the right of the middle. We need parts number 8, 9, and 10. So part number 8 is the bottom left corner here. Pull it out. 2 parts number 10. Those guys going to be, one is right below, a little above the middle on the left hand side, and one is right above it. That's second one. 2 parts number 10, and then we need part number 9. That's the top right corner here. So let's see. These guys, I'm going to use my precision file, or you can use the sandpaper to file it. So just file all around on both number 10s. And then we need to wax it all around. And then we need to wax. Make sure you remove all the burrs if there are any inside, or a little extra material that is not going to be needed. And just wax all the teeth all around on part number 9. And turn it around, go the other direction. And then we're going to put these parts number 10 on one side. There's a little hole, so on the opposite end we're just going to put part number 10 all the way in up until the flat surface. Then part number 9 from the opposite end where the hole is at. All the way in, and then lock it up with part number 10. And we are on page number 5 on the bottom. That's our part A2. I'm removing a little bit of a garbage to the side here. So that's our A2. Moving on to the page number 6. Step number 1 at the top left. We got our parts number 11, 3 of them, 12 and 13. So let's see, they're all on board number 1. We're still here. So let's see, part number 11. The little tiny pieces, they're within these little circles here. We need just 3 for now for the first one. So let's remove it from the within of part number 14, which we're going to need to pull out also. So we need to pull out the middle piece. Let's take part number 14 out first, and then we need to take that middle piece out too, and this is not needed. So 14, part number 13 is the top left, a little bit above the middle here, and part number, let's see, that was 13, 14, and number 12 is the top, I'm sorry, top right, and top right is 2 parts number 12, so either one pull out for now. So that's first is part number 12. We need to make sure that the teeth are facing counterclockwise direction. That's the way we lay it down, and then we insert part number 11 into that. The 3 little holes, and I'm using my helping tool just to snap the part in place, because if you use your finger, you do need a lot of pressure on there on the small part, so it is a little painful, hence I'm using the tool. And then I'm gonna go take a little wax and wax it inside these little teeth. Then we're gonna install part number 13 over it. Just match the little tabs that we just inserted. Sometimes you just need to slightly adjust it, and then we lock it up with part number 14 from the top. So there's no directionality for these guys. The only directionality is these things. As you look from the top, the teeth should go counterclockwise direction. So we're done with that. Now we need one of these rubber bands that we had, and that's going to go over onto the middle piece, onto part number 13. So I need to kind of stretch it all around and make sure everything is in place. Nice little wheel, and that's our part number A3. We're gonna put it on the side. Step number 1 to the right, on the top there, need part number A4. Once again, we need parts number 12, 11, 13, and 14. So let's see, 12 is gonna be top right. That's the second one. 13 is top right, a little bit above the middle on the right hand side there. Number 14 is the bottom left, a little below the middle, with numbers 11 within it. So I'm going to push that little internal piece out and then use my helping tool to get parts number 11 out. Alrighty, so here, in this case, our teeth should face clockwise direction, opposite of the part number A3 that we just assembled. So teeth are facing clockwise direction, same thing. We're going to insert our part number 11 all around into 3 holes. And use the helping tool to snap it in. Alrighty, now wax. I mean, you could have waxed before, but just following the steps here. Then part number 13 from the top. Once again, the teeth are facing clockwise directions. If they're not, you need to remove the number 11s and push them from the other side. And let's see, number 14 from the top, lock it all together. And same thing, use one of the rubber bands, stretch it over, and put it over part number 13. And just go around, make sure it's not twisted, nice and straight. With the flat portion just sitting on part number 13. All right, and that's our A4. I'm gonna put it on the right hand side. So A3 and A4. A3 on the left, A4 on the right. Next one is step number 1 on the bottom left of page number 6. We need parts number 15, 16, 17, and 2 18s. So we're still on board number 1. Let's see, we need 16 right here. Top left, a little above the middle there, part number 16 and 15 there together. There's another set right above it. That's probably for the next assembly. Then part number 17, bottom right, and 2 number 18s. They're also below the middle on the right hand side here, 2 number 18s. So part number 18, sand. Theoretically, you don't need to, but I do see like 1 connection point on here because they're supposed to make this little indents here and put the connection points inside. But that's just sanding just in case. All these connection points, they could stick out a little bit of a material, and then we just wax it over. So nice little layer of wax on part number 18. And then we also need to wax the little gear that is part number 17 and put a little wax, rotating it to the counterclockwise, flip it around and rotate the other one to apply the wax on the other side of the teeth. And then just make sure you look through the teeth, and if you see any extra material, I would remove it with a helping tool, all these little burrs, because they will be on the way when you try to operate the full assembly. All right, so 15 and 16, they're gonna go within each other. And looks like it's probably doesn't matter which one is which. So part number 18 from the bottom. Helping tool to get it all the way in. Then I'm gonna do part number 17 over these. This needs to sit all against part number 18 flush. So just push it all the way in as far as you can go, using table as a leverage, and then part number 18 to lock it up from the top. And we have nice part number A5. Clean up your surface. All right, let's move on to step number 1, right in the middle of the bottom of the page number 6, to create part subassembly A6. Once again, we need 2 18s on the, a little below the middle on the right hand side. We need part number 19, which is also bottom right here, right below the middle. 2 parts number 15 and 16, they're top left. That's the second set that is here on the board. And then part 15, 16, and 2 18s. So once again, we're gonna send the connection points on part number 18 all around. And we're gonna send it out. Wax it all around part number 18. And then part number 19, just run the wax all around, make sure there is no burrs anywhere or extra material. Turn it around and run the wax the opposite direction. Let's see, gonna clean off of the wax a little bit. No extra parts. Same thing, 15 into 16. And then put it over into part number 18. I'm gonna use the helping tool to get it all the way in, nice and flush. And then with the little circles towards the top, well, I guess it doesn't matter. I'm gonna get it all the way in until it sits flush to the number 18 on the bottom. And then another number 18 from the top, locking it up, and that's our A6. Next step, clean up your surface. We need parts number 20, 2 of them, and they're bottom right, both of them. And then we need part number A6 and A5. So A5 is the smaller gear. It's gonna go into the, let's see, we're gonna situate part number 20. So the larger hole is at the center, and this one is on the left hand side. And that's where your gear A5 is going to go on the bottom left. And then your larger gear A6 is going to go interlocking with this gear on the bottom. It's going to go in the center hole. And then we apply another one, part number 20, and in the same way. So it kind of locks together, just like this. And then when you're holding it together, the gears should move. They're a little tight right now, but once you get the wax going, it's gonna ease up a little bit. So this is not complete assembly just yet, so it's gonna be a little bit hard to move them through, but it's a start. Moving on to the page number 7, we need all these little sub-assemblies, parts number 22, 23, and 21. They're all on board number 1. So parts number 21 is the top left, and 23 is up there too. So these are the longer pieces. 21 is on the left. 23 is the top left also. It's going to be on the right. And then 2 22s are kind of a little bit below the center on the left hand side here. All right, so now all these sub-assemblies. These little tabs, the taller ones, they're away from you. So let's start with our A1 sub-assembly. That one's going to go first, with the longer, with the hole towards you, towards the center. We're gonna go into the let's see, where's it gonna go? It's gonna go a little bit above, and there's 4 tabs, that 1, 2, 3, 4 tabs that we need to insert into these 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna start from the end. And then if that doesn't get inserted very easy, you can apply a little bit of wax on the tabs, then it's gonna go nice and smooth. So this one's first. Snap it in. Then we're gonna do part number A2 with the gear towards the left hand side. That's gonna go number 2, and then we're gonna put a 22 over it. It doesn't matter which way, but choose to lock it in completely. As far as it can go. All right, step number 4, we use this A7 sub-assembly, same way as I have it, so this hole in the center is away from you, and that one with the 2 little tabs, these 2 and these small ones, they're gonna go into these 4 little holes, interlocking with this little gear. So just need to make sure we line it up correctly. That's our step number 4. So it's still not locked fully. Step number 5, we're gonna put the part number 23 over it. So make sure this goes through the hole, and I'm gonna start from probably this end to snap everything together. Make sure everything goes into the corresponding holes, because otherwise you're not going to be able to snap it together. There you go. This side is, bottom side is done. Now I can flip it a little bit, line up, continue lining up the parts and snapping everything. Make sure that's nice and flush. So now we can go through all the tabs and connections and just snap them to make sure that everything is nice and tight. And that's our sub-assembly. So I'm gonna check, rotate this little wheel and put 22 on, not because I need to rotate it, just because I forgot. And now I'm gonna rotate it, make sure there is a rotational and it's easy rotation, so mechanics are working perfectly fine. So as you rotate this axle, the gears here are also rotating. So that completes our step number 7, or page number 7. Clean up all the mess that you created. And next we're going to be on page number 8, step number 3. We need parts number 24, 25, and 26. So 24 is on board number 2, right? Not yet. They're on board number 1, top right. So we're gonna start with step number 3. We just need 1. 2 parts 25. There's 4 of them on the bottom right. We just need 2 right now. Carefully push the whole little rectangle out and get the parts out. I'm gonna push that put it on the side because we're gonna need it. Part number 26 is gonna be a little bit to the left of the center line at the top here, and then part number 27 to the left. Now we need to wax this part and sand around these little connectors. This part, also try to see if you can sand the connectors, but there's not much to it. And then we need to apply wax on part number 26. And then part number 24 all around. All right, so now we take our sub-assembly with the spring away from you. That's A3, the one on the left, is gonna go on the left hand side. So I'm gonna put part number, which would be the best approach. I'm gonna put part number 25 with the teeth, or these little ends, facing counterclockwise direction. It's gonna go inside. Then part number 25 is gonna go, there's only one way you can put them in. It's gonna go into these little slots that are in there. And then that, I'm gonna push over the little axle. Make sure those don't fall out. Turn it around, put part number 26 over, and make sure it sits right into the hole of the wheel. And then I'm gonna lock it up with part number 27. It's gonna go right over it. So now the gears are moving nice and flush. And then we're gonna go to step number 4. We're gonna do the same thing on the opposite end. Part number 24. 25s I have out, 26 and 27. So 26, a little sending. 24, a little sanding on the outside, a little waxing on the outside, and then part number 26 waxing. And then parts number 25, 1 and 2. We don't need this little board. Once again, we take the wheel. We insert now, once again, these little teeth are facing clockwise direction now. And then these little guys, 25, go into the slots. Then we carefully push it over the axle here to make sure the 25s don't fall out. All the way to the edge or flush. Put part number 26 over it, make sure it goes right into the wheel, and then lock it up with part number 27. Now it rotates both ways. Nice and simple. Step number 5. Let's see, we need parts number 28, 29. 28 is on board number 1 to the right, a little below the middle, and then 29 is, I want to say, right in the middle. So here we need to sand part number 28. There's a connection point, so make sure you remove those. We need to wax outside of it, these little tabs too. And then we need to wax part number 29. Remove the burrs. And wax all around. All right, and that, let's see, we need to make sure we put it on the correct way. So 28, with the teeth, they're kind of like bent a little bit, so they need to face the clockwise direction. And we insert it over the little tab here. And then our large gear, there are teeth, internal teeth, which also we do need. I would wax it a little bit. And inside, so these teeth need to face the opposite direction, counterclockwise, so this way. That goes right over. Next step, let's see, we're still recording, which is great. I need to replace my wax. This one's no good anymore. Clean up this face a little bit. We're on step number 6 on the bottom of page number 8. the bottom left there. And we need parts number 18, 33, 32, 30, and 31. So it looks like all of those are on board number 2. So let's see, we need part number 33 and 32. 32 is the large gear here on the left hand side of the center line, a little above the middle. 33 right at the center above the middle. 30 and 31 are on the left hand side, second and third part from the top and second from the left edge. 30 is the one on the top, 31, 32, 33, and 118. And 18 is going to be right here at the center. There's 4 of them there, so just 1. So 18 connection points are within the little dips. So that's going to be just waxing. 33 is waxing. Make sure no little burrs or extra material. So one way and then the other direction. Same thing with the part number 32. And let's see, 31, 33, then 32 goes right in. Looks like, let's see, there is a longer side to it, so there is a 1, 2, 3 steps are on the top, and then only 2 steps are on the bottom. So the 2 step, that's where part number 32 goes, as far as it can go. Next one is 33. They're a little offset, and then we lock it up with part number 18. And that's going to go into here with the part number 33 engaging with this gear. Make sure you engage it, and the 32 engaging with the gear on the bottom. And that's our A8. Step number 1 to the right of the center of the page on the bottom. We need part number 34, 35, 36, and 37. So 34, and we need to do 2 of those. 34 top left, 1 and 2. 36 is all the way at the top, 2 of them. 37 right below. And let's see, we need 35s. So 35s is the top left, a little bit above the middle there. There are 6 of them, so we need all 6. We need 3 per the assembly. So I'm using my helping tool to get all these out. I got a part falling out. Let's see, so 34 is the first one, and then all the 35s are gonna go into these little holes. There's only one way you can put them in, so they're kind of like rectangular pieces, so the burn ends are normal to the center of that circle. Next is 36. These are the ones without the holes, just little slots all the way in. And then we lock it up with 37 with the little lines, burned lines facing outward for the prettiness. It's gonna go right in, and then make sure it's all flush all around. And then the second one, we're doing the same thing. 1, 2, and 3. We can snap them all together later on, like we did. And then part number 36. And then 37, once again, with burned lines towards the top, these little decorative lines. And make sure everything is nice and flush. And we need 2 more of the rubber bands to put over it, over the part number 36. Once again, just run it over and make sure it's nice and straight without any twisting. All around 2 times. Moving on to page number 9. Put these aside. No twists, just making sure. Step number 1 at the top. We need parts number 38, 39, 40, 41. Looks like all of them probably on board number 2. So 38 is on second part from the top on the left hand side. 42 is gonna be that's 44, 43, 51. Where are the ones? 41. 41 is on the bottom left. Okay. 39 and 40 are top left. Got those. And now I need to find part number 42. 42, correct. 44. 42 is to the right of the center line at the top. Wait, all the way at the top. Put it aside. 41 is the only one that needs to be sanded and waxed. And into 39. Nice and easy. 48 is at the end, at the cross, the thicker cross, all the way. And then 42 is locking it up. And then 41 is on the opposite end. All the way. All the way to these little shapes, triangular shapes. All right, that's our step 1. Step 2 is below it. We need to put the 40A9s on one end and the other, and then lock them up with part number 43 and 44. So same board number 2. 43 is the top left here, 2 of them. A little to the left of the center line, and 44s are a little above the middle, almost at the edge. And then 43s need to be sanded. These little connection points sanded off. And waxed all around. Now we do the 43s first. Let's see, on the all the way in, and then 44 with the little bolts drawn outside. That's gonna lock it in. Make sure it spins. Same thing on the other one. Make sure the little lines are facing outward. And then once again, the 43 gonna need to go all the way in. And then 44 to lock it up. And we push it from both ends. And the wheels should spin freely. That's our step number 2. Step number 3, we take our A8. I'm going to clean up the surface a little bit here with the helping tool. Let's see, part number 45. That one is a top. That's 45, 45, 45. That's going to be on board number 1. And that's right at the center here, below the middle. Part number 46 is the bottom left. 2 of them. And part number 47 back on board number 2. And that one's going to be right below part number 48 on the right hand side. All right, so here we need to wax this little tab, round off shape. Parts, let's see, with these arches towards you, whichever way, 46 gonna go into these 2 tabs, outside tabs, or furthest away. And just use helping tool to snap it in to make sure it's seated all the way in. Then our sub-assembly that we just did, it goes through the hole that is furthest away from you, and then we lock it with the part number 47. It needs to go all the way down to the surface. So there's a rotational part to it, and then this hole is going to go through part number 1 here, and these 2 tabs need to go through part number 45 and all the way in on both sides, locking it in. That's step number 3. Step number 4, we need part number 48, which is on board number 2 in the top right corner here. It's the large piece, and within these little slots we need to apply wax. Also in this weird shaped surface too, and that's gonna go this way with the little, let's see, with the notch on the right hand side where the hole is at. That's, we're gonna put it over the sub-assembly, and then put this little tab into the slot or hole. So when it goes up and down, your wheels slightly rotate. Just like this. And then step number 5, we need part number 49, which is on board number 2 and bottom right. Part number 50 and 51. So those are going to be on, should be the same board. 50 is top right here, little part. Yep, just broke my helping tool, which is fine. I can deal without it. Can use the leftover chunk. And 51 will be, need to find it, and one of the boards. I see 61, I don't see it marked on the drawing. Let's check the board number 1. I don't see 51 on here. That's a round piece. I see 18s. 51 is the top. Here we go. You can't see. That's why it's right next to the number 2 there on board number 2. All right. So 51, we need to sand all around and wax all around. And then that's 50 is going to go right into it with a shorter stab. Use the part of the helping tool that is left to lock it in, and then this is gonna go into these gear on the bottom here, and then I need to wax the gear all around one way or the other. And then this gear is gonna go over, let's see, right here into this little space with the round piece on the right hand side that fits into that slot. Just like this. Moving on to the page number 10. Put that aside for a sec. Clean off the spacing. So this crumbles a little bit, and I have a lot of it on the side. Let's see, make sure that we're still recording. We're good. All right, so we need parts number a lot. We'll start with the front, 52 and 18. They're on board, 52 is on board number 1, bottom right. And then 18 is on board number 2, a little to the left of the center line, closer to the top here. We need 2, let's see, connection points are within the little dips, so just need to wax these, 1 and 2. And these 52 is gonna go right into this large center gear. Make sure you hold it from the bottom, not to snap it in. So 52 is gonna go into the hole, and 18 is gonna go right over it, kind of locking it. Next step, over this little key, we have part number 53 and 54. So 53 is on board number 1, bottom right, and that's where the 54 is at too. Now make sure no burrs. Wax the gear. And same thing, connection points on part number 54 are within little dips. So all we need is just wax it on the outside. And this is gonna go over this little key, wind up key extension, number 1, and then make sure we fit into the gear, join the gears together, and then lock it up with part number, hold it from the bottom. That wind up key, lock it up, the gears are engaged, and then we'll lock it up with part number 54, and then the last, all the way at the end there, part number 56, also board number 1 in the bottom right, and 355s there at the center. So the board number 1 we're done with, and there's a couple of spare ones, so we're gonna put it aside. Don't throw it out just yet. And then 55s do need to be, connection points are within little dips. That needs to be waxed all around, all 3 of them. All right. Alrighty, so part number 2 with the little line facing towards back or towards the center of the car. It goes over these 2 tabs, and then 55s gonna go, I don't know if you need to line them up, but I would with this little lines. They need, the first one's gonna go into the hole, and then the 2 is gonna go over the top. all three. Moving on to the page number 7, we need parts number 57 and 58. 58 I had fell out of board number 2, and 57 is right at the center, a little bit to the left, on board number 2 on the bottom. So 57 is going to go towards with the sharp point towards you, over this little hole, and all these tabs around. Make sure you line up the tabs as you push it in. And then you just snap it together, make sure that it's completely sits on all the parts, locking it together so this little circular cylinder is within this circle, and then 58 is going to go with a thicker portion towards the back, once again over all these little tabs, and then we're just going to snap it together slowly from all the ends to make sure it's nice, sits nice and tight all around. Here we go, make sure this one is with the key sits within the opening. All right, so now everything is nice and tight and flush, and that's our subassembly A. Now we need to make sure to run it through. We need 5 times the clockwise, where the arrow points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh, too much. Oh. It's not gonna unwind just yet, or it does it? And how do we start it up? All right, so you just rotate the wheels. As you're looking at the wheel from the right hand side, that should go counterclockwise, unwinding. Unwinding, or you can turn the key the other direction, unwinding the gear. So, and we should do it probably about 10 times. At some point of time, it should unwind itself. So there's a lot of friction on it, because as you can see, there's a lot of parts, and as you're moving, these wheels also move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It says only 5 times, but it can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, until I feel some resistance, and then as I let it go, it's slowly trying to unwind. Here we go. Unwind it all the way to the end until you feel a little resistance in the key, and the same thing. Almost to the end. it's almost to the end, so I'm gonna do it 2 more times. Just make sure that you have enough movement there. All right, so that's we do see the movement. Probably I'm gonna need to play with it a little bit more further down, but looks like I achieved what needs to be achieved to make sure that all the gears are moving and operational and not locking up and not seizing. All right, so we're on page number 10 on the bottom. Step number 1, we need parts numbers 60, 59, 60, and 61, 2 of them. They're all on board number 2. So let's say 61 is a below middle on the right hand side, 2 of them. 59 is right above the middle on the right hand side all the way at the edge, and then 60 is going to be a little gear at a little below the middle on to the left of the center. Need to get rid of all these little burrs that are here on the gear itself. And we need to wax the gear. We need to wax part number 61. So once again, the connection points are within little dips, so you don't really need to wax them. And then port number 59 is going to go into the gear all the way in. The little gears over the port number 59, and 61 is going to lock it up. That's our B5. Next step is step number 1 at the bottom center of the page. Part number 62 and 63, they're both on board, should be on board number 2. 63 in the bottom left, and 62 is right above it on the left hand side. So the 62 is going to go from the front, 63 is on the back with these little 2 tabs towards the top, same direction as these 2 guys, and this is going to go and drop into here. We need to rotate the car a little bit, so this little stick is facing towards you, and then these little tabs going to go into these 2 holes. So as we go in, make sure the gears are interlocking there. So it just needs to sit, and this gear needs to lock in with the gear that is inside. So otherwise it's not going to let you drop all the way down. And then let's see, step number 2, we need to put part number 64 here in this hole, and then 65 gear over this sub-assembly. So those are also on board number 2. 65. Let's see, where's the 65? 65 is a little below the middle on the left hand side, and then part number 64. 64 is on the left hand on the edge, on the left hand side here below the middle. All right, 64 with a shorter tab, that's the one that goes in. And then gear number 65 needs to be, make sure no burrs, and then we need to wax it for sure. And that one's going to go over this little part as far as it can go. Step number 1 on page number 11. There's more gears, more sub-assemblies. Just checking, making sure we guys recording and we're not on pause or anything like that. That I haven't run out of room just yet. All right, page number 11, step number 1 at the top, parts number 66, 67, and 268. 67, there's a lot of them. This is the spare, top left are the 268s, and we need 2 of those parts, so we need B1s, pull both of 67, sorry, out. 66, that's a spare. There's bottom right are the 266, that's a little with the sharp points, little T's. My spare helping tool, and then 68s we need 4, so they're bottom right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 68s do need to be waxed all around, and obviously the gear needs to be waxed all around. That's a lot of gears. I'm looking at this page. Somewhat intimidating. So all the 68s are waxed, and then parts number 67. All around. And that stick is gone too. So there's a lot of wax that you need for this subassembly. Let's see, so part number 66 with these little flat surface, now the chamfered ones going towards the bottom, that's going to go into 68 with this little outline towards the bottom all the way in. Then 67 is going to go on the long end and lock it up with the 68, also with the little outline towards the outside, just like this. And then we need to make the second one, same thing, into part number 68 all the way in, then part number 67 all the way to the end, lock it up with a 68. That's 2. Step number 2, there's all my little wax, I'm gonna collect it. All right, clean up the rest. Step number 2, we need parts number 18, 70, 69, and 71. All right, 270s, because we also need to make 2 of those. 270s at the center, to the left, a little above the middle. 4 parts of number 69, they're on the right hand side, a little above the middle here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Part number 71, bottom right, 2 of them. 1 and 2, and 4 18s. So I have 2 18s right at the top. Actually, yeah, 4 18s, right? Right at the center at the top. And then I have on board number 3, there's 4 more at the top right. So I just need 2 more for now. All right, let's see. We need 2 wax number 18, all 4, or all 8, I should say. And this wax not gonna work, so I'm gonna grab the next one. Once again, tea light candle or any candle wax should work. All right, then all the gears. Make sure there's no extra surface or material sticking out anywhere that will prevent from operating properly. That's a lot of gears, so you do need a lot of wax. So household wax, candle wax, household candles. Ask your wife before you grab one, just to make sure you grab the right one, not the pretty and all smelly or something like that. The one that you can actually use, so she won't be mad at you. I just went and bought myself a bunch of tea light candles. You can make a romantic dinner out of that too, with the tea light candles. All right, let's get back to the assembly. All right, waxed everything. All right, so we need 69 goes into 69. And no other comments are needed, so stay as is. Then we're gonna go part number 70 from the bottom with the little designs towards the top all the way in. Part number 18 from the bottom. I guess that will indicate how many people are watching my video with all my comments. All right, 71 from the top, and then 18 lock it all up. That's going to be our B2. We need to put one more together. 69. There's so many comments that I can make, but I don't want to. And let's see. I shouldn't. There you go. And B2, two B2s are ready. Moving on to step number 3, where we need parts number 72, 73. They're on board number 3, a little below the middle on the right hand side and left hand side. Once again, we need to make 2 of those, so 72 and 73. Part number 75, they're on board number 3, top right. We just need 2 of them for now. 1 and 2. Part number 18, they're also top right there. 2. And part number 74. 74 back on board number 2. To the left of the center line in the bottom, and to the left of the center line a little below the middle on the left hand side. All the extra material, make sure it's removed. And once again, wax the gears. All around. That's a long page. Lots of assembly going on here. All right, then parts number 75 dips in there for the connection point, so we don't really need to sand it. Just make sure you apply enough wax in there. And part number is 18, same thing. All right, part number 73 has little tabs on the forks, and then 72 is going to go from the bottom. And then from the bottom, on a shorter piece, shorter tab, part number 18 goes on first, all the way. Then part number 74, as far as it can go. And then we lock it up with part number 75, with a little line facing outward. And same thing, repeat for the second set, all the way in, part number 18. part number 74. And lock it up with part number 75 with the little lines facing outside, and that's our B3. And now the last gear sub-assembly on this page, we need B4, just one of them, so we need part number 18. Board number 3, top left here, and we have some extras ones just in case. Part number 77 and 76, they're on board number 2, a little above the middle on the right hand side. And then gear number 78, a little below the middle on the left hand side of the center line. And once again, we're waxing the gear, all the teeth, all around one direction, and then turn it around, wax it the other direction. Part number 18 has the dips, so don't need to sand it, just wax it. I mean, you can sand it just in case. And then 77 and 78 go one into another. In the shorter end, we're gonna have a part number 18. And then from the long end, part number all the way in, part number 78. All right, that's our B4. Take our assembly, and B4 is gonna go second. So B2, that's the second sub-assemblies with the larger gears. Larger gears goes towards the bottom. They're gonna go on the left, closer to the center line and right hand side, not interlocking with anything just yet. Part B4 is gonna go right at the center hole here, past the main gear, interlocking with this gear in the center and these two guys on the right and left hand side. And then we're gonna insert two B1s with the little flats, I mean the gear towards the top on these two smaller holes on the right and left hand side that are right at the edge, the closest to the center line. And then B3s gonna go into the outside holes, interlocking with the gears the one up front, not the little guys, because the little guy is going to be a little bit above those little two gears. All right, so everything should be kind of straight. And moving on to the page number 12, we need two parts number 79 on board number 3, top right and top left. And so let's see, we need to wax these little gears on here. One part number, they all both go over these long shafts. So the one on the right, gears on the left, the little mark should go away from you. So that's gonna go right over on here, interlocking with these little gears on the edge. And then the same thing on the other one, and make sure they're symmetrical. That's gonna go with the teeth towards the inside, towards the center line. Little mark away, and they're gonna interlock with the gears on these little two pieces. Next, moving on to, this should be straight, so let's see, or somewhat straight. 1, 2, from the top. All right, so they should go straight. They shouldn't be tilted in any way. Okay. Next, as step number 6, we do part 80 and 81. So they're on board number 2. 80 is to the bottom left, and 81. And 80s are top right corner. These are the last 2 parts that are not marked as the spare ones. And making sure we're recording, so I'm going to put this board on the side now. So with the 2 holes kind of away from you, number 80 is going to go with a thicker portion into the board than the 281. And I'm going to use the helping tool to get them in all the way. And then that's gonna go over this little sub-assembly and make sure all the little cylinders fall right into the place, locking it in. Okay. Moving on to step number 7, and we need part 82, which is on the bottom of board number 3, right at the center here. And here we need to wax these 2 outside little circles. And that one's gonna go over the top, bringing all the rest of the gears locking them up. As you squeeze it in, make sure you adjust everything and all your little cylinders are interlocking. And inside these little circles or openings, there's a lot of connection points, so make sure you go all around and squeeze them all through. All around, so these are inside, everything is good, everything is seated as much as it can. And then we need 2 parts 18, 75 and 83. So they all should be on board number 3, part number 75 at the top right corner. 18s are a little bit below it on the right hand side too, 2 18s. And part number 83 is a little bit to the left of the center line. Oh, that's the gear number 90. And that one's going to be to the left of the center line. So 75 and 18s are getting waxed. And now we're step number 8. Number 18 is going to go into on these long rods on the right and left hand side, all the way in until they sit into the little circular openings, flush. Part number 75 is going to go into this one in the center closer to the end, and then 83 right over it, kind of towards the front. Alrighty, step number 9, we need parts number a lot of them. Let me clean out the surface a little bit. Let's see, we need 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 2 of them, and 89. All board number 3. Let's see, 84, bottom right. There are 2, one spare, one not. 84, 85, and 86. 85 is going to be top left. 80, I see 88, 2 of them, one is on the left and one is on the right, a little bit below the middle. Let's see, 87 is on the left hand side, a little below the middle, right below 88. Now 89, circular, bottom left. I think all of it, right? And 86, gonna be bottom left, bottom right, or a little below the middle, below 88 on the right hand side. So let's see, 86 needs to be waxed. And 84 is gonna go through it. And then 84 is going to go through 85. So these little tab is away from you. It's going to go from the bottom into 85. And 89 is going to go on the top. So 89 with these little steps should face the tab. So the first step will be right at the tab. So like that little dash is away from you. Then 87 is going to go through 85. Kind of sandwich in the middle, and then 88 is going to be at the top and bottom of that part, kind of like this. And then this sub-assembly is going to go into this little hole, just like this, kind of going towards the left. And then step number 10, we need parts number 84 and 90. So 84 on the left hand side, below the middle on the edge, 1 and 2, and then 90 as at the top center. So obviously 90 is going to need all these little burrs cleaned out and waxed. Then 84 is going to go into these little 2 holes, 2 openings on the left and right hand side. And I'm going to use the little helping tool to get it snapped in all the way. And then gear number 90. Need to wiggle this little locking mechanism to get it in between the gears. It's going to go all the way down to the surface. Step number 11. It's a lot of gears. We need part number 91 on board number 3 at the top center here. And then part number 18 to the left of it. And part number 18 needs to be waxed all around. Part number 91, oops, get this back in. Part number 91 is going to go over the little tabs here, the one that we just installed. And it should go all the way down, lining up with all the little holes. 18 is going to go into over this little X. Now as we move here to the right and left, that gear for some reason doesn't want to engage. There we go. So this should go in and out like this. Stop, start, stop, stop, start, stop. All right, let's see where we at as far as the sub-assembly. And that's we're right here. So now we need to do parts number 92, 75, and 93, obviously on board number 3. So 93s are on the bottom right and left. Parts number 92 are a little below the middle on the right and left hand side. And parts number 75s are top left. That's where I have it left. 75 needs to be waxed all around. '93s need to be waxed. Remove the burrs also. And wax the 93. Alrighty, so 92 is going to go over these little tabs. Let's do 75 first. All the way in. No? Does it go? No. Let's see, this one's first. 75 should go all the way in, right? Theoretically. Anywhere, and then this one's going to be over. All right, so 90 is first. I guess it's just floating around. That are floating around for now. So 75 as far as you can go, and then 93 is over as far as they can go. Same thing on the other side. First is 92, then 75 as far as it can go. It's only about halfway, and then 93 over it. This one I'm gonna flip around because I got these little dots are not matching, and that's our sub-assembly B. Alrighty, and we'll be back. All right, we're on page 13, step number 1 on the bottom there. Let's see, we need parts number 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, and 100, 99, and 100. Most of them are on board number 3. So let's see, 94, 96, 95 on the bottom right here, and we need 2 of those, so bottom right 94, 95, and bottom left 94, 95. Then let's see, 96, oops, no, okay, fell out. 96 bottom left. 98 is right there too, and bottom right. So 90, 98 are diagonal lines on there. Let's see, 96, 97, top left and top right. 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, and 99s. 99s are within this piece that fell out in my case on the right and left hand side at the this is a centerpiece that we're not going to use anyway. We can put it aside on the left and right hand side. So that one's going to be on the side here. It's just extra parts that we're going to see in the assembly. All right, so sand, well, just wax, because once again the connection points are within the little dips. 98 is the one, the diagonal. All right, and then 97 needs to be waxed too. All right, so 97 and 98, we're gonna go one within another. Is the one, 94, 95, sorry. The one with the tab is 95. That's gonna go with 96, gonna go from this side. 96, it's the two little marks that are kind of like vertical on there, so you can distinguish it by not diagonal, but more compared to the opening. 96, then 97 is the gear. And then 98. 99. So 99 is the one with the little slots. And then 91, 100 are with the little, oh, I'm missing 100. 100 is going to be on board number 4. And it's top right and top left. Missing one part from the assembly, so 100 is going to be from the other side. And then same thing on the other end. 96. All the way in. Then 97. And then 98 to lock it up. 99 is going to go from the side of 98, and then 100 from the back. All right, that's 2 of the C1s. And then we take that C1, one of them. We need part 102 and 101. So 102 is going to be on board number 4. It's to the left, one piece here. And then 101 is going to be on board number 3 with this, within this little piece. That's the one on the left here. So 101 is going to go onto one of the 10Cs, and it's going to go through the 2 tabs to attach it to on the right hand side, and then 102 is going to be in a horizontal position into the 3rd tab, just like this. And that's a C2. Moving on to the page number 14, we need parts number 102, which is also on board number 4 on the right hand side in the middle. And back to the board number 3 within this piece. 103 is on the right hand side of this little piece. And we're going to do the same thing except attach it on the left hand side. So the same thing, this long piece towards the bottom. We need to get these little 2 tabs inside, and then horizontally, and not in the bottom hole but the one that's on top, we're going to put part number 102, and that's our C3. Now we're going to turn this around, and then C2 is going to go over this guy into, let's see, this little tab's going to go in here, the flat portion's toward the back. The hole's going to go over this little guy, and then this tab's going to go in here. So that's first here, then lift this up. Probably shouldn't not have inserted it first. All right, so we lift this up first because there is a round piece that it needs to be within. Push it in, and then over into this little tab, just like this. It's turned right now. And the other side, same thing. We're gonna need to lift that one up a little bit. Seat it. You don't want it to come out. For some reason mine is coming out. Once again facing towards the front. Line up. Make sure you insert everything, and then C1, C2, and then we need 75s in here in these holes, and 104 and 105 to lock it up. So 75s are right here, and then this piece, and that piece can go on this side now. 105 and 104. There's some spares in there, so we'll get back to it. So 75 needs wax, and that's going to go within these little holes here. And on the other side. And then 104 is going to be on the right, because there's a little decorations towards the outside, with the tabs towards the back. In, and the same thing on the right hand side towards the back. up all the holes and lock it in right and left. And let's see, we need part 106 and 107 in step number 3 on page number 14. Those are on board number 4. 106 is on the left, 107 is on the right. And let's see, these guys gonna go into 107, 106 into these little holes at the top of these sub-assemblies. 107, 106. So the little burnout pieces are towards the outside, towards left and right. And then let's see, we are on the bottom step 3, so we need to put it into the stop and rotate this about 10 times. Hold on, can't get it into the stop. 8, 9, 10. And then we need to help all these sub-assemblies to start moving. Put a little bit more. Need to give it a little spin. Because a lot of gears, a lot of friction. Just need to play around and figure out where it is stuck. A lot of friction in it, and I can feel it. So you need to work these gears a little bit. Can't wind it up anymore. And we'll unlock that seized mechanism. So we've got to play with all the gears, try to unlock it. once all the wax and all the friction, we have the little rubber band fell out. I'm gonna fix that in a second. I don't know if it's a slack in the gears. This thing needs to move back and forth. The wheels need to move. So I need to play with it a little bit back and forth until we find which gear prevents it from going back and forth. Or not a back and forth, but more of a movement, seizing the movement. Here we go, there's a little bit. Back and forth. So I'm moving this gear and this one in the opposite direction, the one that's below it. Once again, a lot of movement. So there's the wheels are moving a little bit. We need to move this left and right. Give the spin and break off that seized part somewhere. Don't apply too much pressure though, to make sure we don't break anything. All right, let's see, play a little bit more. There's somewhere a lot of friction because I can see the mechanism moving, right? So my wheel is moving when I move these two gears. The back is moving, so everything is moving the way it's supposed to. The only thing is that you can break that little friction that it's getting everything stuck. We'll need to, let's see if we can need to go troubleshooting it. let's see if it's gonna break off. I mean, from that point, possibly that I may need to separate some parts a little bit, just to give it a little bit of a slack. I'm going through and trying to release the pressure a little bit. Maybe that will help. Let's see. Should have not wound up all the way, which is not helping, so. Let's see. The mechanism seized up. Should have checked the mechanism. Put up some music during this. All right, where could it be a little sticking? Or not sticking? My assumption is that one of these little gears was not cleaned all the way, and just waxed it up. Any other locking portions? I just don't want to go through and disassemble half of it. So that part doesn't look like this is sticking. go. Slowly but surely. There we go. Starting to release. All right, we have a progress now. Now it's releasing. Now I can rotate the key. Here we go. Somewhere one little piece of wood, which locks up the whole assembly. So unwind it completely. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nine, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20. Nope. Alright, still friction. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Wind up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we need to get to the point where it unwinds on its own. Fun. And it's moving, which is great. So now we just need to work it in to make sure that we reduce the friction as much as possible until it just moves on its own. And as you can see, these parts are moving this way. These are rotating too. All right, these are propellers, so. 19. That's 22, 23. And because everything is seizing, I don't need to lock it just yet. I mean, I will lock it later on when I wind up and it unwinds itself. just need to play around with it for, I don't know, 15-20 times maybe. Need to get rid of all this friction. No, progress. A little bit of a moment on its own. And as I mentioned, there's a lot of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24. Oh. So you got gear here, gear here, gear here, gear in the back, multiple gears, then going up. So there's a lot of transfer of motion into like from horizontal to vertical and everything else, so which is a lot of friction. So a lot of gears running around. I guess I can put you guys on pause and get back to you once I release that mechanism completely. Let it flow on around. Play around with it until it completely... There's no... Oh, maybe I can hold it here. Come on. I need you to release on your own. That's much easier. So you guys can skip forward because I'm going to be playing with it until it's completely released. So I'm gonna put you guys on pause because we can't continue until this mechanism is working nice and easy. So we'll see you in a bit. I'm gonna play around with it a little bit, back and forth, just keep unwinding and unwinding until it does it on its own. All right, as promised, I'm back, except the following day. So I played around with this back and forth. You saw me on kind of release it a little bit and playing back and forth. Also, as the time was going by, it wasn't moving, so I did remove these little sets and kind of played a little bit with this gear just to make sure. Pretty much try to backtrack the steps, so removing one part at a time and see if it works or not. Eventually, by the time I removed that second side, I guess one of the gears were sticking here, or possibly these two parts were pressing too hard on the subassembly. So once I removed that, it released itself. Then I just carefully put it together, not to squeeze it too hard. So now when you put it in stop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I wind it up, let it go. So now it goes and easily drives through. So if I do more winding, obviously it's going to go further, it's going to release more. So we're going to continue with the assembly. Next step, we're on page number 15. We need parts number 108 and 6 109s and twice that amount, because we need to build 2. Both of those, all those parts are on board number 4. Top right corner are part number 108 and top left corner are 108. And then 109s are right below. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. To the right, a little above the middle, 9, 10. There's a spare, just in case. And then to the left and to the right. I mean, that was to the right, I think. And this is to the left. We got part 109. All right, so we just take these little fence and we insert with the that arch portion towards the edges. So once again, you can just pre-insert it a little bit and then push it against the surface. It should come in easy. If it's a little too hard on your fingers, you can pre-insert it. Take your helping tool and press against that. It has a flat surface, so it's easier and simpler to press on it. You do need a little bit of a force, just to make sure that these will stay on there almost permanently. So just 6 pieces on one fan and then 6 on the other fan. And if it doesn't go in very easy, once again, you can use a little bit of a wax just to push it in and make sure it's sits there nice and well, or easy to insert with the wax. All right, so now we need, for step number 2, we need 2 parts 110, top right and top left corner. We need parts number 111, same thing, top right, top left. And then parts number 68, right at the center here, at the top. So just push that out. All right, so 110 goes on first. And let's see, we don't need to wax or anything, so it goes on, and you need to insert it onto the little tabs that are sticking out there. So snap one side and then the other carefully. Same thing on the other side. 1 and 2. Then we put the fans on. Obviously, there is a little bit of a directionality because they're on these little X parts, and then part number 111 that goes all the way in. Make sure you line it up. And you need to line it up with the fan. As it goes, there's like a little tabs that are gonna go in between the fans, the blades. So I would put a little bit of a wax on everything. Just to make sure you can insert it nice and easy. Let's see. And now there's a little bit of a directionality on these. And then lock it up with 68 because there's like a little tabs that are gonna go in between the blades. So you need to make sure you insert it the right way. The little bit of wax did help a lot. Less struggle to put it on. So same thing, just line it up. Make sure if it doesn't fit one way, it will go on the other direction. Hold it from the back to make sure you don't snap anything. So I'm holding my finger here to push it in, and then lock it up with part number 68. Once again, I'm gonna double check, put it in stop, wind it up a little bit, let it go. All right, so there is a little bit of a stop here. So we need to work it in again. So if you have some hesitation in your system, I would play with it for a few times just to make sure when you release it, there is no hesitation whatsoever and it goes through completely or almost to the end. I mean, if it stops a little bit, I mean, it will eventually go through, but at least you need to go that initial, maybe like 2/3 of the way. It should definitely unwind. Once you have that, that means you have a normal working system. All right, that was C3. Now we're on page number 15 down at the bottom. Step number 1, we need 3 parts 113 and then part 112. And so 112 is going to be on 2 boards. And so first one we're going to take from board number 3. That's right at the center here. A little bit above the middle. And then if it doesn't easily remove, I would recommend to use your hobby knife to pre-cut it. All right, so we're done with board number 3 for now. Board number 4, we need parts number 113. They're within this little right to the right and left of the center line. Kind of starts at the middle and then goes down 1 line, then half of this one, and 2 on the left. All right, so we need 3 for the first one. Let's see, with the little tab towards the top, this little guy. So both tabs facing towards the top. We're gonna start one at the edge here. And let's see, we need to make sure we we need 2 of these together. So I was wondering why it doesn't. So we need both from board number 3 and from board number 4. I was confused for a second, so we just match these 2 together, and then we insert port number 3 with the tab towards the top. I mean, it doesn't matter which way you start, but you need to make sure all of them are facing the same direction. And lined up. We want to make sure it's flush at least to the back. So we do one on the side, one at the front, and once again, make sure that all of them are facing the same direction when you insert it. So these tabs are towards the top or bottom if you flip it upside down. All right, we got that. And now we need parts number 114, 4 of them in the empty slots. So 114 are also on board number 4 within this little centerpiece. At the top right, it starts at the center line, or right at the center of the board, and goes down a little bit. So at one, I'm gonna pull this out, this piece, so it's easier to take out. I don't have to reach into it. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so those gonna go into the open slots. And then if you make sure that they're perpendicular, then it should insert pretty easy. Once again, with all the tabs facing towards the top in the same direction. That's the one that you already inserted. Alrighty. Here you go. That's our C4. Moving on to the page number 16. Put that C4 on the side. Now step number 1 at the top left. We got part number 115, 2 of them. I already learned that lesson. And 115 would be on board number 4. So let's see there. That's 116. 115 is on the bottom here. Or we just need 1. No, we need 2. So it's on board number, it's not marked on board number 3, but we do need both. So kind of play around back and forth a little bit to push this 115 out. Oh, that's 117. I'm gonna put it on the side. All right, so 115 is out. And then we need 1 more from board number 3. It's on the bottom here. It's not marked on the assembly, but we can figure it out. Let's see, and we need 113, 3 of them. So same on that board number 4 on the bottom here. 1, 2, 3, 3 of 113s, making sure that we're still on record with you guys. And same thing, they're gonna go on the edge, on the 2 edges. Make sure the tabs are all facing the same direction, and at the center here. And then number 114, got 2, same piece. These gonna go on the other 2 openings. Once again, make sure the tabs are towards the top. And it should slide right in. And that's C5. Gonna put it aside. Next step on the bottom here, because you have the little dotted line, we'll do number C6 or sub-assembly C6. we need parts number 116, 2 of them. So technically we need 4 because we need 2 times. Board number 3, 2 of them. And board number 4, 2 of them on the sides, to the left and right of the board. 1 and 2. And here we need 2 parts 113. And that's all we got left. So we have 2 per set, so we need 4. All right, this piece can go in the garbage. And once again, doesn't matter which way you insert these little guys, as long as they're both in the same direction. So tabs are facing one way. All right, that's number 1, and that's number 2. All right, next step, we're gonna go to step number 1 to the right on page number 16 on the right hand side of the page. And here we need part number 117. That's the one that fell out. And then we insert these C6 from the bottom on the sides. So like we need to get these little tabs into the holes. 1 and 2. And I'm going to apply pressure towards the table to make sure it's inserted all the way. Once again, you press start to make sure they're all going in the same direction again, so you don't have to remake them. So towards the top, and I'm applying pressure right at where the tabs are at, so to make sure not to break the actual part. Now C4 is gonna go towards the front and just line up all the tabs. You kind of like preset them a little bit before you push them all the way in. And then go through and adjust them. Make sure these guys line up too. Right here. And just go through and make sure that all of them are snapped all the way in. They should be sticking out just a little bit. Just like that. And then the C5 is going to go on the back. Once again, make sure everything is facing the same direction. And just insert them into the holes. All right, so that's our C7. Nice little boat here. Next step, we're on page number 17 at the bottom left here. We need parts number 118, 119, 120, 120, 120, and 121. Two times. They're all over the place, so we're on boards number 4 and 5 most likely. So let's see, board number 5, bottom right. Let's see, when we have bottom right, we have 118, 119, and 120. Then we have 120 right a little bit below the middle on the right hand side. We need 3 of them. And then another 120 all the way at the top right. So we got 3 120s and then 2 121s on the right hand side on the edge here on the bottom. So we need 2 of those. 118 Let's see. With that, when you facing, you slant it a little bit to the left. 119 is gonna go on the right hand side. All the way in, and I would probably put a little bit of a wax on this guy because we have to push it all the way in, and these are like smaller fragile parts. All the way in with the little tab facing down. Then 120s, they're gonna go on all the other two on the left hand side, one on the right hand side, and then 121s, one of each, all the way in. And that's gonna be our C8. And then the similar for C9, bottom left is 118, bottom left is 119, 120, then 120 towards the middle on the left hand side, and then top left is 120, and then 121 are on the left bottom, right at the edge. All right, so we have two parts left on the board number 4. Now this one's gonna go the opposite, so it's slanted away to the right. Once again, on the left hand side now, 119, and then you gotta push it all the way in. All right, I'm gonna take it off, put a little bit of wax, because this guy doesn't go on very easy. With the tab facing down. All the way. And then 120 over it, two 120s on the other end. And then lock it up with 121 with this little crosses facing outward. So it's a pretty design. Alrighty, then we go to the step number 1 on the right hand side. We need part number 122, which is going to be on board number 3, right at the center here towards the bottom. And then one C9 gonna go let's see, on the right side here. So there's 4 holes. That's going to be the set of 3 holes towards the center of the part number 122. And one C9 is going to go into the hole to the right of the 2 in the center with that little 119 tab into that hole. And then C8 is going to go into the other end, or the other hole on the left. Now we got 123 and 124. They're going to be on board number 5. 124 is on the top right, and that's going to go on the left side for me. And then 123 is top left, and that's going to go on the right side for me. Not to confuse anyone. All right, so let's see. With a single tab towards the top, that's going to go into this little slot opening. And then the same thing for 124 is going to go into this little slot / opening that is on the opposite end. And then we're going to take our C7, and there's two openings here, 2 slots. So that's where these slots going to go. And then we need to pretty much snap the top piece into every single tab that is at the top. Make sure they line up and squeeze them in. and then we can go around and just snap them on part number 122 onto these tabs that are sticking out of on parts 113 and 114. So just go all around, and then when you apply the pressure on the part, because if you're gonna apply it on the bottom part, it's gonna snap off. So we're almost at the other end. Just need to line up these little tabs. And then when everything is perfectly in the line up, they will just snap into the corresponding holes. Right, in, everything is in. Just need to adjust this guy a little bit, make sure that everything is nice and flush. Here you go. This guy's aligned too. All right, so we're done with that step number 1. Now step number 2, we need to sit our vehicle within this little frame. And let's see, where is it gonna attach? Not gonna attach anywhere just yet. I think these 2 holes. But doesn't mention that you do, so I'll take a wild guess based on the next picture. So these 2 little tabs gonna go into these 2 holes, and then we need to put another part. So I'm gonna do the part number 125, that's on board number 5, a little below the middle on the left hand side. And then parts number 126, let's see, they're bottom right, 2 of them. And so we're gonna insert 125 into these 2 front holes. Make sure when it sits nice and tight. And then 126 with this little hooks, they're gonna go into these 2 slots right at the center, and with the tabs right in the hole behind it. So once again, when you apply the pressure, make sure you hold it from the bottom there, not to break any parts. And just insert these 2. Double check to make sure we're still running. And now we're gonna put that vehicle inside to make it look like a hoverboard or hovercraft. And then 2 tabs on the back and 2 tabs on the front. Once again, I'm holding the part while pushing on the other to make sure that they don't snap. And then I need to make sure it's all flush and it sits all the way in. Moving on to the page number 18. Step number 3 at the top. We need two parts number 128. They're on board number 4. And those are, looks like the last 2 parts on that board. So that board can go on the side, not in the garbage just yet, because there's some spare parts. And these 2 boards are gonna go onto these 2 parts, the whatever was 125 and whatever we installed back much earlier. There's two holes, so they're gonna go from inside onto the tabs that are located on these 2 parts. Line up the holes and squeeze it in. They're not symmetrical. So this one I did insert incorrectly, so need to undo it. This tab has to be, so the tab that is closest to the front needs to be going towards the front, or to the edge. It needs to go towards the front. Same thing with the other side, just flip it around if you have it incorrectly and snap it right on. That's me not paying attention. And then part number 127, which is going to be on board number 5. Is it? Yeah. Bottom right, closer to the edge here. And then that one's going to go with this sharp end going towards the bottom. It's going to go into the opening here and then in right at the front of the hover portion, in between two lights, just like this. Step number 4, we got parts number 129. That's the long piece on board number 5. It's a little bit above the middle here. Snap it out. So with the 2 spikes going towards the back, it's gonna go over, let's see, these little slot openings gonna go on the first tabs from the back on the parts that we just installed, the 128s, and then therefore these little square holes gonna go into the second opening, I mean the tab. All the way in, and the 2 square holes up front, they're gonna go right at the front tab. And then when you press it on, make sure you hold the other part, once again, not to snap it, just to be on the safe side. Next, we need part number 130 and 131. 2 131s. Looks like they're all 3 of them are on board number 5. 130 is to the left top, and 2 131s are the right and left hand side of the center line. And so these guys gonna be with a thicker portion towards the front and then slanted away from you towards the back of the vehicle. So they're gonna go into the holes that are right at the center. And so we got 131. And you might want to do a little bit of a wax on there. And then this one's going to go in the center into the part number 129 that we just installed. And then we need 132 to lock it up. That's on board number 5 on the right hand side here, almost at the edge. So that one's going to go over these 3 parts, facing towards the center of the bolt. And they're slanted, so this is going to be a little slanted too. If you want, you can apply a little bit of a wax on the tabs to insert it easier. Moving on to step number 5 on page 18. We need part number, we're going to start with the, I guess, left hand side, or the way we look at it on the right hand. Part number 133, that's going to be on board number 3 on its top left. And then right next to it, right at the edge, there's 3 parts number 134, and we need all 3 of them to be inserted into the corresponding slots. I'm using the tool to pop these out. And then they're gonna go into the 3 sets of 2 holes starting from the back. The directionality, obviously make sure you insert them from the front face. The one's gonna, that's the face that's gonna face outward. And then these, there's 2 holes, 2 square holes they're gonna go on these tabs on the side with port 125 and whatever the other one was. And make sure they're sitting nice and flush. There you go. Here we go, all the way in, and then we're gonna do the other side, and the other side we need part number 135. It's on the right hand side of the same board number 3. After that, we do not have any new parts on there, just the one spare part. So once again, we can put that board on the side until you finish up the assembly completely. All right, so we got that is done. And then same thing, we're gonna start now from the left hand side, from the end of this part. Insert into the square holes the 3 handles. Then we're gonna turn this guy around. So this is the windows, so they're gonna go towards the front. And we're gonna put it over the tabs that are sticking out. Front and back. And just make sure that they're sitting flush. So that's nice and clean. Next, step number 6, putting a steering wheel column and displays. So part number 136 is on board number 5. On the left hand side, a little towards the top from the middle. We need part number 137 is the top left, the little rod, I guess, or pin. 137. 138 is right above it, small little wheel looking thing. Then 139 is our gear selector. And then wheel is going to be 140, it's right below it. And just like this. So we're going to turn this guy upside down, facing you. So 2 displays are at the top. It's kind of U-shape up the right way. Part number 137 is going to go into the left hole. And then 138 is gonna go over it, and I guess all the way to the end. And then I'll put the 139 right at the center hole for the gear selector, and it has to be like a little bit tilted downwards. Well, it doesn't have to, but it's up to you how you insert it, but that's the way I'm gonna do it. And then I'm gonna put the steering wheel with the vertical section down. It's gonna go straight down. And then this, I'm gonna go up into the front. There is 2 little tabs on there, so just gotta insert it through the windows, match the tabs, and kind of press it carefully because you may break the steering wheel if you're not careful. Kind of like insert it over the tabs and make sure it sits flush as much as you can. Make sure, just so it doesn't fall out. All right, moving on to the page number 19. I'm gonna clean off my desk here. Check to make sure that we're still recording, and we need parts number 141 and 142, board number 5. 141 is going to be towards the top, a little bit above the middle on the right hand side, and then 142 is all the way at the edge on the bottom right side. And so 142 is going to go upside down. We're going to turn this guy front facing us. There's a first tab or first opening, that's where that slot will go into. So that's where we insert the 142. Apply pressure right at the center. Don't apply pressure on the sides because you're gonna break it, snap it in half. And 141 is gonna go into the slot that is all the way up front. And there's 2 tabs on the sides. They're gonna go in the holes in the hover portion. And just once again, apply it at the center. Make sure it's nice and flush, and then apply it on the sides, holding kind of from the bottom to make sure that you don't snap any parts. Alrighty, now step number 8. We need part number 143. It's on the left hand side, bottom left. That's gonna go right at the center little tab here, and it can spin. You may want to put a little bit of a wax. I mean, it doesn't matter because you won't be able to spin it anyway. It's not going to be attached to anything, so it doesn't matter. And then we need parts number 144, 145, and 146. They all at the top here. So you just need to flip around like this, and then add them up. I'm gonna start from the centerpiece, 144, and just easy apply the pressure because to make sure it doesn't snap, because it's at the center, it shouldn't snap the sides for sure. Now here, that's where the tough part is at, so we need to, I would wax these guys a little bit, these little tabs that are on the left and right hand side, and then you can insert this guy to make sure we don't break it. I don't know if I can, I'm gonna use the helping tool just to hold that little piece, and because I can't reach with my finger to apply pressure here. And then on the other side, it's kind of the same thing. Front is fine because there's enough leverage. The back, that's where the little problem is at. And then I'm gonna use the helping tool to kind of make sure. I broke the helping tool, but I got the holes into the tabs. That one needs somehow to be my helping tool. Poor helping tool. It's almost destroyed. Yeah, you can't get to it from any other sides, just from here, and that's how I snapped that. But these both are holding up, so we should be good. It's not gonna fall off. All right, and that's our C9. Completes that assembly. Next, we need to make seats, 4 of them. Step number 1 on page number 19 on the bottom. We need part number 149, 150, 148, 149, 150, 51, and 147. They all within these little sections, looks like it, on the bottom center of board number 5, 2, 3. So I'm gonna pop these guys out. Oop, lost one. Alrighty, let's start with 147. It's not on here. Perfect. 147 is gonna be bottom right. 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we need part number 148. Which is going to go right at the center. So there is 2 tabs on the bottom and 3 tabs at the top. I'm going to probably start with part number 149. It's also not on these guys. 149, where's 149? 149 right at the center, a little bit above the middle. Alrighty, and pop these guys out with my broken helping tool. And we're almost at the end of the assembly, so I'm not gonna even bother replacing it. Alright, so this looks like a back of the seat, and we're gonna do part number 148. No. 147 is going to go, the slot's going to go into the slot of part number 149. So snap these 2 together, and I'm going to do all 4 right away. probably the easiest way to start. If not, I mean, you can start from whatever you want, but this is just my preference. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 148 is gonna go, that's the center of the seat. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're still on step number 1, by the way. And then they're gonna go into the right at the center tab. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Make sure it sits nice and straight there. And then parts number 150 and 151 is going to go on the left and right. Let's start with 1. And then 150 is going to go on the right. So you just want to make sure that slanted is towards the front of the seat, slanted side. And then 151 is on the left. Make sure it just sits all the way in. Nice and tight. That's number 1 seat. That's we're working on seat number 2. Who knew these gonna be so tough? It just all the tabs are close together, so it's a little tough to put these parts on. Once again, the little round off portion is towards the front. Attention to detail. All right. 3 seats are ready, and well, the base of the seat is ready. We still need to apply like 8 more parts or something like that to each one of these. Alrighty. And then step number 2, we need to put parts number 154, 150, 151, there's more, 152, 153, and then 154. So I'm going to do 154 first. They're bottom left of the board. Need my broken helping tool to get these out. And I need one extra because I just broke one. So careful with your helping tool. Broken one. I have a spare parts here right below. So I got all that I need. And then they're gonna go into the little slot here. 154 into 149. I'm gonna do those first. Got nice little music going on here. My kids are taking piano lessons, so you may hear some extra noises which do not belong to our assembly, but just nice little melody, maybe. We'll see. Alright, here, and then the last one. Is right here. did I just throw the actual part away? Give me a sec. I'm digging through the garbage, just FYI. I think I threw an actual part out. Because I know I broke a piece and then I pulled one out. That's why I'm saying not to throw anything out until you're actually done with the assembly. That way, if there's any spare parts or something that you need, you can always come back to your garbage and pull it out. And all right, maybe not. I will need to request a replacement part for this or glue it together. So I got one of these little broken up. Now we need parts number 152. I'll go through the garbage in a second, put you guys on pause. 152. Let's see if I can find maybe another spare component. All right, now the 150 and 151 is gonna go on the sides here, but slanted upwards. And then 153. So I guess I broke two, or I threw out a good piece. We'll be checking in a moment. I need to dig through my garbage. In the meantime, I'm gonna assemble the other three. And then 153. All right, that's number 2. Just because, let's see if I'll find it or not. I can glue that part together because these are not moving components, and here I'm gonna probably need to do this one to this guy too. We only have that many 154 pieces. Yep, one more. And then the last one, I will put a little bit of a glue on these little chair assemblies just to make sure that we don't have to wait for the part replacements. Once again, because it's not moving component or anything like that, it's should be able just to apply a little bit of a glue and forget about it. All right, let me dig through it and I'll get back to you. All right, so I did not find them. I think I broke, yeah, I did break these pieces. So I ended up breaking, I guess, 3 out of 5, but successfully glued them together. Just need to apply a little bit drop of glue. Once again, it's not a moving component, so you should be all fine. I got all these 4 guys here. And then we need to install them into the corresponding holes that are 2 up front, 2 in the back here towards the back, I guess, and to install them easily without breaking the extra components. I'm gonna wax them up, wax on, wax off type of deal, and applying a pressure onto the seat, put them in. All right, so 1, applying the wax. 2, make sure the seats are facing forward. There we go. And that will be step number 3. Alrighty, we got all these 4 seats are in there, and that's our C. Moving on to the page number 20. Final page for the assembly. Make sure that we're still operational and we're good. And now step number 1 at the top. We got parts number 156, 155, 156, and 157. 156 and let's see, 155 right to the right of the center line, a little below the middle. 157 is right there, and then 156 are right at the bottom here, bottom right. Okay, we got all 4. All right, so these gonna need to go through these 2 holes, and looks like they need to go all the way through and go into this part. I'll just push them through against the, now your little wheel needs to go with a little tap towards the left as you insert part number 155 from the front. That's our D1. And then we need, once again, we need 157 and 155. We're gonna put these little tabs through 155 first. All the way in. And then now with 157 with the tab to the right. Then insert it over. And that's our D2. Put it on the side. Now step 1 to the right. On the top of the page, we need part number 159, which is on the right hand side. And then we need parts number 158. They're right at the center, at the towards the top here. And then 120s. They're gonna go in between. There's 4 of them in the top right corner. And then 4 121s. They're right below the middle on the right hand side. Four of these. Alrighty, so 158. I'm surprised there's no spare 158s. Alrighty, so 158. We're gonna put 120 through 158 through 120s first. We need 4 of them. Then 158 is gonna go through the part 159 through 4 holes at the top here, and then make sure these guys are lined up horizontal all the way in. Yep. Applying pressure carefully, not to break these parts, one at a time. And make sure it's seated all the way in. Alright, nice and flush. And now we need our parts 121, just snap right over it with the design facing towards the front. Alrighty. And next step number 2, we need 3 parts number 161. They're gonna be on board number 5 at top left. And then parts 160 and 162, they're on the left and right hand side of the board. That completes all our parts. 160, that's the one on the back. I'm gonna put it on the left, right, the other left. And then 162 is gonna go on the left. All right, now we need these little guys, 161. 2, 3. Only 3. I'm gonna leave one just as a spare component, just in case. And then this is gonna go through the bottom holes, but we're gonna insert it into 162 first. We're gonna go into 3 holes at the bottom. I'm gonna use my broken helping tool to push them all the way in. Then all these 3 guys gonna go through with the arch facing downward through the holes on the little sub-assembly that we just did, and then we're gonna lock it up on the other end with 160 by applying the pressure right where the connection points are at, snapping it all together, and that's our D3. Now taking our boat, pretty boat, and then D3 is gonna go two holes towards the back. I'm gonna apply a little bit of a wax on these guys. And make sure it's inserted all the way in, and then this is gonna go towards the, let's see, towards the inside. Once again, a little bit of a wax on there. So the little tab's gonna be on the outside. And now we have all pre-assembled and all good. Now check the operation on page number 21. And let's see, this is moves, this moves, this moves, so there's nothing special in here. Just pretty pictures, and wind up, running back and forth. All right, I'm gonna put this on the side just to show you guys the operation. Throw away my little helping tools that are broken. Keep my wax for the next assembly. So now this completes the assembly of our little hovercraft. So first we put it into stop position at the top here. So flip it over, wind it up, and let's see, the manual says to wind up how many times? About 18. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I'll go 20, 19, 20. That's half revolution. And then once you release it, it's now a little bit heavier than normal. Needs a little help running it through. So as you can see, it is moving, so we need to work it in a little bit. All right, here we go. You can feel it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and I feel a little bit of a pressure, so we're good to go. Come on, go. Let's see, let's check all the possible friction points. Doesn't need a little bit of a help. I do feel a little bit of a friction here, so you need to play around with it a little bit until it unwinds it completely. I want to say probably need to play with it at least maybe 5-10 times or so until it feels nice and comfortable for it to roll. Once again, a lot of weight and a lot of friction in the system. And with these little kits, you need to make sure that it's nice and smooth operation all the way, because once again, a little bit friction, you're adding on slightly more, and all of a sudden it's gonna just get stuck. Let's try it up. All right, much better. It is a little bit of a movement. to make sure that it's a horizontal too, because I mean vertical is not going to help much, right? Come on. A little more. Let's try without the mat. It's going to do a little bit better on the flat surface. Not much better. Let's see. This one's fine. This one's fine. So I'm gonna play with it a little longer to make sure it releases all the way. So what am I, probably 8 times or so?